This is episode 66, and you're on approach.
63, climb maintain 13 down.
13,000, number 63.
63, contact the New York Center, 128.3.
28.3, just with 63 today.
On Approach is a flight sim and aviation enthusiast podcast featuring the week's top user-submitted stories and news on the skylounge.tv. Wow, you know, I almost forgot to say news, and it's because developers almost forgot to put out news. This last 2 weeks has been pretty slow. It's been pretty slow. Why do you think?
Wonder why that is.
I do wonder.
I don't know.
Is something happening soon? I don't know what's going on.
Well, I know what's happening soon. You'll be sleeping here, and Kevin will be sleeping there, and I'll be sleeping there. Technically in between you guys, but not in between you guys.
We're not sandwiching, though.
No. No sandwich. This is crazy. You're flying over from London, Mr. Spark Smudge.
Indeed.
Gatwick to Oakland direct flight.
Direct flight, going right over the top, high track, flying mainly over Canada, actually. So I'll throw things out the window at the Canada land.
Pick them up.
Yeah.
What air?
And-
What air?
Say again?
Oh, what airplane? What type?
Oh, it's the 787 Dreamliner.
Oh.
Norwegian Air.
We'll be two, right? We'll be two because I'm also flying on the Dreamliner
Very
to
nice.
San Francisco.
Bro, we're flying. You guys are flying on Dreamliners here. We're flying on a Dreamliner to Vegas. It's all good. Okay, maybe not a Dreamliner.
That's if Kevin doesn't dent it on the first day.
It's just a Tesla.
Yeah, it's just a Boeing Model S.
A Boeing Model S, exactly. Kevin, you're flying from Toronto?
Toronto to San Francisco. Direct on Wednesday. Is that Wednesday?
What airline?
Air Canada. Yeah.
I'll reserve
What
my
time you get in,
I'll reserve
Kevin?
my
What time-
SFO Air
what time do
Canada
you get in?
jokes.
What time do you get in?
I arrive, is it in the morning, like 10 a.m., something like that?
Getting in the evening, 6:30.
No, actually, it's even later than that. It's in the afternoon. Let me check. Air Canada, Toronto. I arrive at, 10:32 a.m. Yeah.
What time do you arrive, Noodle?
Whatever I damn well please.
Mr. Vegas.
I mean, depends how I feel the night before. If I'm going to get up early and drive, or wait till last minute and then just bogart my way through the line. I mean, it only takes me, well, it takes a little longer now because the I-15 is having a ridiculous construction project that's happening right now. So, we'll see. What was the check-in starts at what, 9, 10 on Saturday?
I think the
Yeah,
first talk is at like 9:15 or something. Bro, I'm not lying. I'm missing that one.
I want to watch the PMDG announcement and see what they're coming up with.
I hope it's
That's
not the
one that
9:15
really
one.
I want to see.
Yeah, I mean,
It's one of the first ones.
yeah, I'll have to look at the schedule for Saturday and see if there's something that, I'm like, oh yeah, then I'll get up and, make the drive on down and just start on the very first one if it's worth it. But again, I haven't looked, so yeah, it only takes 15 to 20, 25 minutes. But again, with the construction on the freeway right now, it's all going to depend, really. So yeah, I'll get up, make some coffee, and then pack a beer and get in the car. Yeah.
So the first talk in the morning, 9:15 actually, it's even earlier, is the announcement seminar. No, actually 9:30 is the announcement seminar.
Announcement of
So
what?
That's where all the developers that have anything to announce go on stage and present for 5 minutes their announcements. So the most interesting part is at the beginning, and then you have the PMDG thing at 3 p.m., which is a good timing actually for them to announce things.
Yeah, and I'll be at that then, because yeah.
After lunch, we've had some beer. Edson's asleep already.
I'm sorry, did somebody say it's time to go? Dude, that's gonna be me that morning. You kidding me? That's too early.
You have no discipline.
No, dude.
You have no discipline?
Edson, we're in Vegas, man. It's party all day and all night.
Oh, lordy.
You may not want to, but you're gonna.
It's gonna be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And meeting a lot of people too. Like, this is gonna be so cool. You know, we at Cosford we met so many of our viewers, and it's gonna be so cool to do the same now in Vegas for Sparky. You're gonna have this weird feeling of like, whoa, it's like around the world that people know who I am, and it's kind of neat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
All right, let's get straight into the run-up. And so I hope you guys already thought about what you wanted to say, but we'll start with Mr. Sparks. We'll let you take it first. The run-up is a chance for the host to kind of throw out a topic of their choosing. It could be praise, it could be not praise, but it's directed at you, the viewing audience, so it's a way for you to interact in the comments down below. So I'll let Mr. Sparky go.
All right, so this is for a special viewer, and the special viewer happens to be my mother, because I just found out she watches our podcast. So in light of going to the expo, she's worried. Mum, bags are packed, paperwork is in order, and I have my passport. We're all good. Stop worrying.
And I'm gonna add to this one where typically we don't react to the host of it, but I'm gonna say, Mom, I promise I won't be sleeping between them. That was only a joke. We have many rooms in the place. Many rooms. He'll have a dedicated space and he'll be all right.
New world. Just embrace your new inner self and just go with it. Don't be ashamed.
Fucking Noodle. All right, Mr. Noodle, what you got?
Not too much. I have family in for the past week. My youngest graduated from high school, so I've just been really relaxed. I haven't paid attention to much of anything other than the F-18 releasing for DCS. It came out, and as of today, I've only done exactly 10 to 15 minutes worth because I finally had some time. But yeah, it's nice. It's great from what I can see. I'm excited for it. Flying it is a little different from what I was expecting. It's a different animal. But yeah, once I get solid, I'm looking forward to attempting in a number of days doing my first carrier landing. I'm not trying to do what a lot of people have been doing. You know, oh my God, Hornet, they got it. They take off and try to land on the damn carrier without even practicing getting used to the bird. So I'm probably not going to try it till like a week. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm really excited about as far as flight sim goes is the Hornet. Looking forward to getting some stick time.
What you got, Mr. Kevin?
So I was in Amsterdam last week.
Oh dear, do we want to hear the rest?
Actually,
Noodle.
last week. I've been in Amsterdam last week. No, we didn't smoke any weed, but we could have had. We didn't. Well, we walked in the streets, right? If that's enough to consider smoking weed. Secondary smoke inhalation, yeah.
Hey Google, change the lights to red. Did it look like this in the streets you were walking in?
Yeah, there was some blue as well. You know what blue means, right? It's a nose. Leave a comment down below if you know what a blue door with lights means. But yeah, I was going towards aviation with that. All right. I had a very good time in Amsterdam, but when I came back, you know, Will's a real A330 pilot. You know that? You know, you learning that, right? Still
real
trolling
deal.
about it. So I got to sit in the cockpit while coming back because he was the pilot on the flight that bring me back here in Toronto. That's the whole reason why I went there in the first place. And I got a chance to sit in the cockpit. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to sit in an airliner or in the cockpit of an airliner or a massive airplane with a commercial operation. It feels really special. And it does feel very different than flight sim in the sense that you sit in it and you're like, it's the real freaking deal. It's a real plane. Like the button that I press, like that I'm pressing on the MCP is the real one that the pilot touches to like save 230 lives every day. It's just amazing. It's a totally different feeling. So I'm wondering, guys, if leave a comment down below in the comments if you've had that weird experience as well of sitting in the cockpit and feeling a bit.
I feel very knocking the fuel levers.
Curious though, after you did all that, you got to touch the buttons at all. Did you save the flavor and the feeling on your fingers and hands for a bit of time to just really absorb that feeling, and then you went and washed up?
No, I went to the washroom.
When I saw Noodle cup his hands this way, I thought he was going for something else.
No, not the right time. Not the right time.
Nope.
But earlier at the blue light, you know, I'm sure you had to say too. So safe word.
All right, what I got. So, an interesting day yesterday. 15 hours of no electricity at the house. Like, that's just crazy. I thought, you know, I woke up and there's no power and the house is eerily quiet. You know, electronics that I have that I shut down, you know, Black Betty, the sim machine, like I shut her down, but the other machine stays alive at night. So, you know, its fans add a little bit of an ambiance to the house, if you will, and other devices as well, you know, kind of lying around, all add their own little buzz. But this was eerily quiet. And I thought I would lose my mind. But as the day went by, you know, Kathleen was like, well, you're not doing anything. And I was like, I'm not. And I like so
when you had
so like on the topic of weed, like I've never smoked personally myself, but I feel like if I did, I would probably just like fall over asleep or something. And but yesterday, by like the, you know, 5th, 6th hour, I was like that. I was like this. I was just like
you were getting high on the lack of electricity.
I'm looking around my house and things are starting to appear to me, right? I'm like, oh man, like I remember this. Like it's from 1976. This was like my Matchbox toy that I used to play with. And like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I started to see things around my house that I've collected in my life. And they all meant something very different. And it was like
reminiscent.
Yeah, like Noodle has this thing that he always touches on about like this instant gratification. And like everything's, people want it now, they can't wait, they gotta have it now, Like the internet gives us this, right? Kevin and I at one point had a weird little challenge of, can we go 30 days without skipping like any YouTube videos? Like no fast forwarding, no skipping through. Like, can we actually watch a YouTube video end to end? And this is the point where somebody skips. But like, it was tough because we are used to this ADD mentality, right? Like it's attention deficit, right? Just next thing, new. And we often just forget to appreciate what's around us. And as the day went by, I got more chill. We're outside and I don't step outside. If you know me, you know I don't fuck with the outside. There's spiders there. There's spiders outside. We're outside making coffee on a glass percolator on fire, on our little propane torch. And we're making coffee, and
So ghetto.
life was great, man. It felt good. It felt like a big relief. Towards the end of the day, the power came back online, and yes, I did end up doing a very late night flight, but I genuinely didn't miss it. And I don't know, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, have any of you had this interesting experience where you pulled away and literally just disconnected, like everything? And how did that affect you? Like, did you make that a part of your routine? Today, I jokingly said to Kathleen, I said, how about no tech Tuesday? How about, like, Tuesdays, Daddy does not come home and sit at the computer. Like, no tech, no tech. I don't know.
Games out,
These are thoughts that have never really entered my mind until this experience. And now they're there. I don't know. I'd love to hear.
I'm a little disappointed it took you that long to even have this realization that it's good to unplug from today's toys once in a while.
Bro,
go grab that mousetrap game or Monopoly, and
I built my career. My career has been built at a keyboard, bro. Like, you know, like fresh out of high school, you know, first job in tech. And it's like my entire career is built around a keyboard. And so I've genuinely have never really known any different. It's 9 to 5 work, keyboard work. Like, you know, I look at my steps for the day on my phone, and it's absolutely, it's ludicrous. It's like, you know, 2,000 something steps in a day. 2,000 steps in a day, bro. That's like not that's not any kind of walking. It's because I'm doing this here, and in the morning when I wake up, I'll be doing this there, and when I come home, I'll be doing this here, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So, yes.
I can tell you something, Ed.
Tell me something.
We've had an ice storm in 1998 in Quebec, and we were out of power for more than a day, right? A solid week. And there was a baby boom 9 months later.
Yes.
No. No mas. No mas. Daddy's going to Vegas this weekend. That's it for the run up. Let's get to the show. Diving straight into the top stories this week, and the #1 topic of discussion, what's up with Flight Sim Labs? This one submitted by Mr. Tarpoon. I bring this up as a talking point, really. You may recall episode 53? Episode 53, about 3 months ago now. When we discussed the FS Labs debacle with the malware. At that point, we decided as a team that we would no longer cover FS Labs stories in the primary top stories section. That doesn't mean we won't report on the stuff. We will report on FS Labs developments as a worth mentioning article, but I personally, and you know, our team here, cannot further give press to a company that behaves the way that this company has chosen to do so against its customers, not only in the past, but it seems once again in a different way, with trying to silence their voices on websites. If you want to know more, check out the story. You've got the link in the show notes below, but my explanation is now out there. I know I've explained it to a couple of people that have commented about wanting to hear our reactions, but now we make the statement to all. So that's what's up with FS Labs and why you'll now see them in worth mentioning. If you notice the ninja edit, please comment down below. Latin VFR announced BWI. This is exciting as more and more airports get developed out here in the Bay Area, which is currently my home. I'm still just as excited to see airports back where I was raised coming into the sim. Ladies and gentlemen, Baltimore, Washington International Airport announced by Latin VFR.
I think Lucille Ball's got a drinking problem.
Yeah. So, a popular alternative to Washington and Dulles, BWI is located out in Maryland, just outside of the DC area. This airport is really big and is really cool and is really popular. So expect to see some cool flights out of here. I'm excited to see Latin VFR jumping out to do this announcement because they've been a bit on the silent side.
It does
That's
look good.
nice lighting you got there.
Are they doing sceneries for X-Plane? Have they started doing sceneries for X-Plane? Latin VFR.
I haven't seen any.
I don't think so yet.
I don't think so, eh? It does look stupid good.
Quality,
That's
quality,
stupid good. Yeah, bro. But to bring up kind of what they did announce in the past is that they only will be doing V4 sceneries.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Thank God.
I think that it's only a matter of time before X-Plane is on that list.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And typical Latin VFR quality, man. This is it's looking top notch, and this is all work in progress stuff here.
Yeah.
How far from Baltimore is it? From Washington is Baltimore?
About an hour or so.
It's right next to it. Look at it. There's a picture
Right
on
next
the wall.
Actually, Washington
Yeah.
is inside
Washington
the
bad.
airport itself.
Yeah, just a couple steps away.
Never flown into Baltimore or out of Baltimore, to be honest with you. Maybe
Great
that's going to
region.
change. Maybe that's going to change.
Yeah, great region to fly into. Let's have a look at the map.
A lot of runways.
Lot of runways. So there's Baltimore.
Yeah, I've never been to Baltimore.
There's Philadelphia. There's Washington.
Actually, I've been to Baltimore.
You have been to Baltimore?
I drove through Baltimore to go to Washington from Philadelphia.
Ah, okay, yeah. So Potomac River, down here is Reagan. And up here is
Do you know what's
BWI.
in Alexandria?
Yes, I used to live there.
PMDG headquarters.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. So PMDG is in Tyson's Corner. Is that area? It's right here, Tyson's. So you have Alexandria, Falls Church, Tyson's Corner, and then further out you go to Reston and Dulles. This is the Dulles Tech Corridor up here. Is like kind of like you could say the new Silicon Valley is out this way. Lots of tech going on between Tyson's and Dulles. Lots of tech. So Dulles International Airport here, Reagan National right here, and BWI right there. Great spot, great spot. East Coast.
It's a good job we're 64-bit now, because you can imagine overflying Dulles, which is I can't remember who makes it, but
Dulles
that big
is
airport, and then flying over Washington, which is Dravitsky design,
Flight Beam Dravitsky.
Flight Beam, and then into that one. Oh man, you would out in like seconds, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know what? You make a good point. This is now with these 3 airports in this region fully modeled to the quality level and by the people that did them. It brings this up to be probably on par with even flying into like New York. as far as the
Yeah, but
performance.
it's a good hop, actually. It's a good hop.
This is
You
a
know,
great
if you want
hop.
like an hour and a half hop. You know,
You CRJ this, you're solid, man. Great
Yeah.
flights. Great
little
flights.
flights up to New York or Boston from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, 7-3 out of BWI to Louisville, for example. I mean, look at this hop, right? Like that's a really nice hop. Takes you right over all the mountains. These are the Blue Ridge Mountains, and that's a really, really nice hop over to Louisville from there. Also, you've got Nashville, you've got Georgia down below, so you've got Atlanta to BWI, also another good run. Charlotte to BWI, another good run. Great position for an airfield. KVUO Pearson Field for X-Plane 11. This is a first look. You may recall that this week the Pearson Field package was released for P3D by Orbex, and it's stunning. And now I get to see it in X-Plane, and it's stunning times 2.
It does feel different when you look at the lighting.
It does.
Feel.
You look at that car and it looks real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From far away, yes, it does.
Is that sunken in?
That probably is.
Yes.
That probably is.
That's texturing though. It's not really 3D. It's just
You
texturing.
sure?
It's a bump. It's a bump map.
Okay.
They would not waste polygons doing that
Okay.
unless
Why
they
not?
know something I don't.
It'd be great driving over it and having a dum-dum. As your nose wheel goes over it though.
Because it's a big performance drawer. The more polygons you draw, the worse it is. And there would be a lot of polygons into this to make it go bump like this. So my guess is that it's a texture, which is not worse than having polygons. Really, it does sell it very, very well.
Well, to our viewers, if you happen to get this, and before one of us do, run over those bumps.
Yeah, bro.
Test this theory. Test the theory because
Please.
I do believe there will probably be a bump. That's
If
me.
they do bump, it's genius. It's great.
Dude, that shot looks super real.
Yeah, the thing is with
Yeah.
X-Plane is
Yeah.
you cannot beat the lighting engine. It is just, it's unbeatable. At the moment, there's
11 is
nothing that's
perfect
touching it.
for that. Yeah.
This is located just across the river from Portland International. So you're in a fairly heavy region as far as airports go. A lot of traffic. The approach into this is really, really nice. As you saw in one of those shots, there's a large bridge. Look real close here at this arrival. Right? That's a really, really cool path to take on arrival. Pearson Field by Orbex. Alright, the topic of some serious conversation now. I'm sure we'll get opinionated. Coronado announces the Dassault Falcon 50 bizjet. Drama ensues.
Drama.
So Fly Simware is apparently also developing a Falcon 50. This was seen over on the Coronado Post, where Mark Taylor of Fly Simware comments, "Thanks Coronado for making an aircraft that I'm already developing. I am a small company, so this will hurt my future sales since you basically build quantity over quality. In the long run, our analog panel will smoke your Cessna 172 systems."
Oh, shots fired.
A user, Matthias, comments, "Coronado is good in building great visuals with nice textures. However, they combine it with the system depth of a lawnmower. Don't worry, Mark, your Lear is the best classic bizzer out there, and for sure the Falcon will outclass this thing once the bat switch is flipped." It's like, it's interesting, right? Like, I don't know what to think.
Well, we all
My
know,
guess is that there will be a merge somewhere happening.
we all
Do
know
you?
Coronado build beautiful planes. You know, they go out with their texturing and they do build beautiful planes. But I also have the Learjet, and systems-wise,
It's beautiful.
that thing kicks ass.
It is
Unbeatable.
awesome.
Unbeatable. The thing is that Flight Simware, they have the structure of the systems. Coronado has the visuals, and what people like to do in those cases is get both airplanes and create sort of a Frankenstein merge between them. It's
How
never
amazing would that be, though? That's just like a
it would
dream.
be-
It would
oh,
be
yeah.
a dream
Oh, yeah.
if Mark got together with Coronado on this plane and said, "Listen, guys, I've got this systems-wise. It's mapped out. It's ready. It's done. Let's work this tech into your visuals." That would be amazing, because there's no doubt that Coronado kills it in the texturing department right now. Their game is so strong with the texturing and the visuals. You know, not to say that the FlySimware stuff is ugly. It's not, but it's simply stronger in the systems. It's kind of like Noodle probably won't get the chrome rims. Noodle will get the steel wheels and put a turbo on his car, where I will get the 19-inch chrome rims. They're both good-looking cars. They're just a little bit different. Just a little bit different.
Yeah.
All show, no go. All go, no show. And
Yeah,
I don't think
besides-
that people need to get saucy over it, though. I don't like seeing this, because this is not what our industry needs. What our industry needs is maybe a private message that says, "Hey, like, I just want you to know, like, I'm doing the same plane. Does one of us stop? Do we start working together, or do you just not mind that we just keep proceeding forward?" I don't think that this is healthy. And I'm sad to see it, because he makes great planes.
I agree with you, Edson, and yeah, I do believe developers should talk to developers and create I'm not saying you have to create a business plan, a merger or anything, but they should talk to each other and say, "Look, this is what I'm doing, and now you're going to do it. Do you mind stepping down or concentrate on something else? Be more diplomatic about it."
Well, it's kind of hard to do if you look at it from their standpoint. Like he was saying, they are a smaller company. They don't have the library. Therefore, when they put something out, they have to put it out with a bang to make people go, "Holy crap!" from top to bottom. This is the business. Coronado, it's made a great thing, and how we both have, automotive car club history and all that. Coronado is a trailer queen, whereas FlySimware, hey, that you drive what you brung. That this is how it is. Is the fighting good? Yeah, I mean, it can go either way, but for anybody from FlySimware, if you see this, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You have my money. You have countless other people's money, and we know, Coronado, you're great. I've spent too much money on you, but your systems have the brain of a gnat. So
I think that's what it's
don't worry about it, FlySimware guys.
Is the systems guys will buy the FlySimware, and the people who are not too worried about systems and want a good-looking plane will buy the Coronado, and it will be split evenly, I guess, down the middle.
It still hurts the business. Coronado, I don't think they care, because they have so many planes that it doesn't really matter to them. But FlightSimware, a small company that invests a lot of time into systems, that it does hurt a lot. Because I believe most people would go with Coronado and deal with the Landmower instead of the real system. It's a real bummer, but when you look at the facts, there's as much chance of a collaboration between both as like PMDG selling their rain technology, which is none, basically.
Also,
very unlikely to happen.
Well, also look at this one really quick. We have PMDG 737 747. I fly 737.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's keep that in mind now. There's been competing products. Now, I don't know if there was a lot of yip yap like this way back, when both of them were coming out. Let's go with the 737. Don't know if there was a lot of talk like this. If there was, but I have the 737 I got the 747 from iFly and PMDGs because it took so damn long. When I was flying them both at the same time to see what was up, they're pretty good, all that. But I didn't see a lot of bitching and complaining. But I think maybe now it's just because that we have one company that it's just nothing more than an assembly line. And it's just frustrating for people like this who don't assembly line. They put love, heart, care, blood, sweat, and tears into their products. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's like seeing, it's like if you spend 2 years developing something and then you have a Chinese copycat that just does the same thing for cheaper and releases it to everyone. It feels like that.
Bro, you're talking about Silicon Valley right now. You're talking about the new internet. The new internet, bro. The new Facebook. The new Yelp. The new Twitter.
Piper. It's exactly that. Yes, it does feel like that. And it must be incredibly annoying to see that happening from Flight Simulator's side. But if I could say, the only way I could see this turning around is if Flight Simware was to hire someone to do those textures and those visuals better than Carenado. If that could happen, then they would become an even more mainstream player, and one that, when you compare both airplanes, you'd be like, why would I go with Carenado if for about the same price I can get the systems with it?
Exactly.
They need to get their shit together.
Put your work in and build a better plane.
Yep. They have to invest in visuals.
They need to pull a Milviz. Because Milviz has very clearly stepped up their texturing game and visuals game. That 310 is an absolute work of art. The 310 Redux, oh my gosh, the details in that plane. The F4 that came out, oh, it's a work of art as well. So
the only thing that I see missing from the texturing side is not necessarily some artistics. It's more about the techniques, right? Baking textures, baking some ambient occlusion on there, making it feel real, not just a 1998 sort of panel with no shading on it. Right.
Yeah, because baking the ambient occlusion essentially removes some of the effort from the GPU and lighting, right? You're basically like creating these extra these light sources and shadows to where the machine doesn't have to render them. They're kind of like they're baked in, they're there, but they're in the right places.
Because we're working with a platform that's like a century old, there's no ambient occlusion in there. Lockheed has not baked that in there yet, and it might come as a V5, might come in the future. X-Plane has it, and that's why every single plane on X-Plane looks more real, is because it has it built in. But in P3D, you have to work a little more. Bake those textures, put some ambient occlusion on there, like all the other developers are doing, including Carenado, to make their airplanes feel more real. And I think that's what's missing on Flight Simware's airplane. Is some texture baking, some natural feel to them.
Well, as expected, the Carenado one looks absolutely stunning already from the initial renders, right? Like, I mean, it's that visual detail you expect to see from them. So some good advice there. I mean, take it or leave it, right? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment down below as well. Maybe we're spot on, maybe we're completely wrong. I don't know. Let us know.
Bring it, fly somewhere. Bring it, fly somewhere.
Yeah, bring it.
You gave me an oldie with the Learjet, and I love you guys for that. Now you're bringing something new. Awesome. Awesome. Bring it.
I love that Learjet, bro. Love it.
Absolutely.
Sannen Airport, Switzerland cultivation buildings for Aerofly FS2. So, Aerofly FS2, a sim we don't often talk about, little by little getting more and more and more traction, and lately getting a lot of love from the Orbex camp as well. Here is one of their products. This is Sannen for Aerofly FS2.
Yeah, just typical Orbex quality right there.
Yeah. And Aerofly is based on photoreal coverage. If I'm not mistaken, it's all photoreal coverage.
That looks good. Not
Looks
miraculously good, but it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. Now, 100 plus frames a second. See the big thumbs
talking
up?
about that, right? Talking about that, yesterday, Will was flying on DCS. Full res, full everything. 100 and something frames per second. And they looked gorgeous.
I bet.
Aerofly is basically the same, right?
It's
a VR monster.
It is. I want to try Aerofly. I just, with the pace of planes and products that keep coming out for P3D, I can't ever find that extra, you know, $60 for Aerofly. But like, I want to try it because I've heard so many good things about the actual performance of it that I think that it could be a very good flight sim to recommend to people for an out-of-the-box flight sim experience. You know, somebody that's kind of just starting off.
Flight Sim World?
Right, replacing Flight Sim World, right? Like, I don't, like, what is this that you guys are doing on live stream? This is pretty dope. I kind of like airplanes. How can I get into this? I'm still looking for that recommendation product. And, you know, who knows? This might fit the bill. But it looks really pretty. It does.
It's still expensive, though.
I don't
When you
know
compare
enough.
it to the other players.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about this one to really. I think I have it down on my Steam wish list, waiting for its sale. Like you were saying, that's to give it a shot. But because I believe that was the same thing. I think the only reason why I put it down as on a wish, waiting for it to go on sale, because I believe it was mentioned that the VR experience is pretty good. That's the only reason why. But the problem is, you know, this could be really good, but I'm not buying another sim. No way.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
same
not
reason
trying to
I've
build
left
another
it.
sim.
It's the same reason I've left it, because it's more of a VR environment rather than a flight sim environment. It's a flight sim, obviously, but it's more of a VR environment, and I don't have VR yet, so I've kind of, you know, it looks good. You know, there's some good products coming out for Aerofly.
Oh my god, that Photoshop, though.
Yeah. Oof.
It's really well done. It really is.
Oh my god.
It's really well done. He fell perfectly in the right angles and everything. That's really well done. Props. Props,
yeah,
artists.
kudos.
Props. That is fantastic. But yeah, it's literally supposed to be incredible for VR because the frame rate is so high. Yeah, that's some auto gen.
Don't Duvitsky develop for FS2 as well?
Dravitsky, I believe so.
I think all their products are FS2 ready, aren't they?
I believe so. So definitely worth checking out. Good to see. Look, if Orbex is deciding to develop for them, right? It's like, it's worth a shot. More Orbex news. Orbex Netherlands True Earth FSX and P3D 123 now on hold. So sad news for those that were holding out for Orbex Netherlands True Earth for FSX and P3D version 1 through 3, but they have run into some issues, performance issues mainly, with the True Earth approach that has made them kind of shift gears a touch and focus on Aerofly FS2, which we just looked at, and X-Plane 11. And it says, according to a post made by John Venema on the Orbex forums, the sim runs fine with this add-on using default aircraft. However, as more complex GA aircraft or airliners are used, the sim is just not able to handle it and will run out of memory, despite a lot of effort from Orbex to make it work. So basically, ooming is ooming is looming.
Still a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
I just gotta say this. The bottom line, V4, just stop.
So what they were doing with True Earth is kind of a lower res version approach, I think, and even that is causing issues. So like they had already kind of adjusted for these other platforms, but it's interesting because even in V4, Netherlands True Earth is a heavy hitter, man. It's a heavy hitter. Like the amount of autogen is incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's weird sometimes because I've even tested by moving my slider far left for autogen, distance and quantity far left, and it still renders autogen until you can't even see in the distance anymore, bro. Like every single building is rendered. So I think there's a weird little disconnect between actual sim settings and autogen in True Earth realm. But man, the frames are heavy. I have blurry, milky textures. When I fly a heavy into the Netherlands, ground textures down below are beautifully sharp from FTX Global. And then as soon as I cross into Netherlands, it's milky for miles, man. And then it slowly starts to catch up around the plane, slower and slower. There's something not right.
You just basically can't render it quick enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried it. I've tried it today.
Yeah, when you're using ortho tiles, or they're not ortho, but photoreal tiles, they're big files and they are going to take time to actually load in.
Yeah, compared to autogen. I've tried it today and it was hard on performance. I don't recall having seen any scenery as hard as this. Maybe New York by Dwitsky design, but it's really, really hard, and it's on a country scale. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with this for other countries or the regions, but it's going to be. I'm curious to see how the future is going to handle that.
Yeah, because Netherlands is a small strip. How are they gonna kind of scale that up? Yeah, a good point.
To me, seeing this announcement does not surprise me. It really doesn't. I mean, now that V4 is in full swing, the developers and stuff out there are really taking advantage of what they can do now. And then, you know, this is going to sound bad. Then they got to take their products, dumb it down for 32-bit, you know. And now here it is. They want to institute and bring in new technologies, new techniques. And look at this. This is a new thing that they're doing, new technology, new technique. They just hit a wall. They can't even, obviously, they can't get it to work in the 32-bit version. So it's like,
shifting gears.
Why bother? They need to shift, you know. Yeah, they need to shift. And if you're still on these 32-bit, you guys and gals out there, just move over to V4. Yes, I understand it sucks primarily for some of you out there who bought the PMDG products, who, you know, you're not going to get any love. But I mean, this should be your clear sign that you may not get some of the new kick-ass things that are in development and on the horizon. This is a, you know, I don't know.
There's a saying, right? The writing's on the wall.
There it is. There it is.
This one submitted by Mr. Gibbon. Avia71 announced the Aerostar 601P for X-Plane. Noodle, I want your opinion on this one. A relatively small GA aircraft developer for the X-Plane platform has announced their next aircraft as a Piper, Aerostar 601P, via YouTube video, which is already in closed beta stages. The Aerostar is most recently well known for being the star alongside Tom Cruise in the Hollywood movie American Made. Those words brought to you by our friends at FS Elite. Let's check this out. A fun plane, weird little mid-wing configuration there.
Again, I feel like it misses some texture baking. Cockpit is fine.
But it does say work in progress right there on the fuselage.
Yeah, if it is, then please do add some ambient occlusion. Otherwise, that looks pretty good. Cockpit looks superb.
I like the touch where it showed the shades.
I like those wooden slats.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Charts.
Now I'm sure that's probably gonna be something that you can do on your own, like a PDF or something that you put in to the docs file, and then you can pull it up, which is nice.
Passengers.
I wish they wouldn't add passengers because they look so bad.
Yeah, and all
They look good from outside though. They look nice.
Outside,
you see them, you see them in through the window and stuff. Not a bad looking plane. This was a super fast little thing too, man. Those shades are killing me. I love them. They're killing me.
It's funny. The smallest thing is like really cool to me right
I'm
now.
fixated on them.
Yeah.
That plane is so ugly. It looks straight out of GTA.
So in the movie, he had a cutout, a flap on the floor where he'd lift it up and throw the packages out right from the floor of the plane, man.
Never saw a movie.
But cool little plane, man. It's not looking bad at all. I would say if I had to compare this to a developer we know today in the P3D realm, I would say this is roughly what's on par with like FlySimware, oddly enough, what we just discussed. Texturing on this and look and feel is what I would expect from FlySimware, which is, not at all terrible, but not Coronado either. But systems wise, this looks very proper. It looks like it may very well be focused on systems.
Looks very nice, but it's still got that X-Plane plasticky look to it, and I agree with Kevin. They need to do something with those textures for sure, because it's still got that plasticky look to it, toy plane kind of looking.
Worth keeping an eye on, though. Worth keeping an eye on. I know there was did someone the PC-12 for X-Plane that people were going crazy over, and I would look at it and it's just like, oh no, oh no, oh
But
no.
the difference was,
Systems.
the guts. Yes,
The guts. It's in the guts. Sim Control X for iPad released. This one posted by Mr. Canuck Shaw. So this is what would it be called? An instructor station.
Yeah,
It's an instructor station for your iPad, and you can set a plane up.
I guess you can inject weather and different scenarios directly from your pad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get in there and redo the interface.
Fucking Kevin.
It's super functional. I really do like that, and I love software as functional as. But if I was an instructor and spent my day in that, personally wouldn't be able to stand it.
But what don't you like about it? It looks fine to me.
All right. Look at that list with the Baron 58. All right, you see the highlight. It has freaking rounded corners.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's like
Cuts
you
the
can't
corner
do
off.
that. You can't do that, right? That's just one example.
So the itty bitty pixel that's not blued in
Yeah.
is killing you.
It's driving me insane.
So it looks like you can pick aircraft and force these aircraft into the sim. You've got weather injection as well as the ability to use real weather.
That's
That's a lot of power. Turbulence
Oh, yeah.
settings for each cloud, for each layer.
the thing about that though with the weather is it makes me wonder how that's going to work. Is it the base sim weather program? You know, will it interface with, say, Active Sky? Because you know how with Active Sky you can put in everything and set it up how you want. So this makes me wonder if you were to set up the parameters with this, it sends the string, say, to Active Sky for it to read and say, okay, this is what you want. It injects it. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, and maybe you
I
have to
doubt it.
remove Active Sky from that equation. Maybe it's just
Yeah, I reckon
you
it would
say-
inject directly into the
Yeah,
sim
into the
itself,
sim.
not through Active Sky.
You have to. Yeah.
Sim Control
That's a bit
X
of a
is the
bummer.
successor to Sim Control, a popular, powerful iPad instructor station app for your simulator, which provides you the ability to reposition aircraft instantly. Change the wind and weather, fail engine components or instruments, and more for realistic training without ever needing to get out of the captain's chair or pausing the simulation. Currently supports P3D 3.4 and 4.0 plus. X-Plane support arriving in summer 2018.
This is tailored to like home cockpits or businesses like training sims and
Yeah.
bigger like real cockpits. Because I don't see the use for like a local sim.
Sure you can.
Really.
Approach
can
practices,
use it,
ILS approach practicing. Yeah, I mean, it would be easier to control it with this than it would be to reset it in your sim with a save flight over and over.
There
Yeah.
are other software that are better at doing this than that. I feel like this is more for big sims.
I see what you mean.
So is it available for Windows and iPad?
That's the server. So that's
Is it the
pl-
server? Oh,
plugin
okay, that's the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Gotcha. Cool. Thank you for that, Mr. Canuckshaw. And now on to worth mentioning, ladies and gentlemen, this is a speed round. All the stuff that isn't worthy of being top news because we may have covered it already or because they're just updates. This is worth mentioning.
Or it's Flight Sim Labs.
Or it's Flight Sim Labs. It's simply worth mentioning. Here we go. I'm going to need a drink because it's a long list this week. All right. Quality Wings Simulation Ultimate 787 released for P3D V4. It's out, ladies and gentlemen. Go and get it. But Quality Wings 787 Service Pack 1 is also now released, and there is a warning from Mr. Tomcat UK. You're going to want to go and check this out before you run the update to Service Pack 1. Also released Rex Skyforce Technical Update 2, which, by the way, made things rock solid, and I have officially switched to Skyforce. More on that later. Black Box Simulations Preview A330 Neo, the Alabeo C421 that we talked about in the last show, the Golden Eagle, is now released. Just Flight Traffic Global has been updated, now with GA traffic. Flight Sim Labs announces new super cool icing effects. Flight Sim Labs announces the A319 bug feature. Bugs on the windshield. Bugs in your computer. On the windshield. On the windshield. FSDG St. Lucia released. Tabaret releases Mesh XP Spain for X-Plane 11. Aircraft lights and when to use which lights. I had to look this up to answer a question I had about the runway turnoff lights, and I found a really cool list at a really cool site. Go and check that out if you have the same questions. Captain Sim Captain 757-3 version 1.1. I think that's coming soon. That's the info. Aerosoft 318-19 Professional Preview exclusive over at FS Elite. The C-152 for X-Plane 11 from Just Flight. Yes, you're getting a C-152 and it is excellent in P3D. It's going to be amazing in X-Plane. Velis announces a 747-200 Classic in development for X-Plane. An update to Dravitsky Designs Seattle City X. Barcelona Professional has been updated to 1.10. Orbex Gold Coast Airport now released. Little Nav Map updated to 2.02. Aeroplane Heaven releases more previews of the Bristol Bulldog. And last but not least, the Lockheed Vega 5 is still inbound. But you can see more about it if you head over to this thread right away and check out the video on demand. I did get a great chance to stream it live on our Twitch, twitch.tv/theskylounge, and it was an amazing time. So go check out the video if you're interested in that wonderful plane by our friends at Wing 42. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up our show. The next time you see us, we'll be in Vegas. Together, all of us.
Vegas, baby.
I'm already here, so you know, whatever.
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll be podcasting from Noodle's crib. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it in the desert somewhere, just because. Why not?
Oh yeah, we can do in the desert.
That'd be fun.
That'd be kind of cool. Anyway,
You can bring guns,
I'll
Bring
make it out of the
guns.
desert. I don't know about you guys.
We can do podcasting. I'll go shooting stuff.
Sparky just wants to shoot stuff. On that note, Sparky really does want to shoot stuff, it seems, Noodle. So I know
Really?
there's the big range out there.
Yeah, 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, so maybe. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please don't be shy to come up and say hello at Flight Sim Expo if you're attending. Also, check out the link below. There is a thread where we're rounding up names of people we want to meet, so comment there if you're going. We'll see you in Las Vegas. Signing off for now, the Sky Lounge TV crew. We've got Mr. Kevin down below, Mr. Spark Smudge below him, and Mr. Noodle there. I'm OMGEDSON, Sky 5.
Sky 5 people. See you in Vegas.
Vegas.
'63, climb maintain 13 down. 13,000, 063. 463, contact the New York Center, 128.3.